Today, at least 150 deaths from Helene across 6 states. Now at 5, new video of a mudslide knocking a home off of its foundation. Then we traveled by ATV and hiked on foot for a first look at Black Mountain.
I don't think people realize how bad the situation is.
Hear from former women's basketball coach Sylvia Hatchell about the grim situation in her neighborhood. Then the push for Elon Musk to help fix the extensive blackouts from Helene.
Our rain chances are going down and temperatures are going up. How long the drier streak lasts?
Right now at 5, team coverage from Western North Carolina. The death toll from Helene now surpasses 150 people over 6 states. And in just the last 30 minutes, we learned 57 people have died in Buncombe County alone. Hello, everyone. I'm Deborah Morgan.
And I'm Gerald Owens. Dan Haggerty is in Asheville. He'll lead our coverage there. We'll talk to him in just a moment. But first, this new information just in. As we speak, Governor Roy Cooper is touring a supply distribution site in hard-hit Black Mountain. 1,100 people from Western North Carolina are in shelters. In all, there are 29 shelters open. Tomorrow, President Biden will be in North Carolina to survey the damage.
Want to send it out now to Dan in Asheville to talk about what it's like seeing firsthand the heartbreak we've been seeing in all the videos. As we've learned now that more lives are lost. Within the last 2 hours, we found out a firefighter from Fairview died while responding to the storm on Friday. Dan?
It's one tragic story after the next, Deb. The idea of 57 lives being lost in this county, in Buncombe County, is unthinkable. The idea that hundreds are still unaccounted for is a terrifying thought to have. It is so important to put this struggle this community is going through in the spotlight. It's important that people scan that QR code that we have had on the screen so they can continue to give. The need out here is unbelievable. And the videos and the pictures we have been showing you detail that all so well. We want to show you now something we showed you right off the top, a bit more of it. This is new video in from Sugar Grove, and it shows the speed, the intensity and power of a mudslide caught on camera. Take a look.
My car's gone.
I'm okay. It's okay.
Everything's gone. It's all gone.
It's okay. It's okay.
Are your parents okay?
They're okay.
Was anybody in the gym?
It's okay. It's okay.
Hey, you're okay.
A terrifying thing that far too many people have had to endure. We have team coverage. We've been out here for days in the area as communities start to open roads, as we have the ability to get back and follow first responders and talk to people and share their stories. We continue to do so in Buncombe, Ashe, Henderson County, everywhere we're able to tell stories, we continue to do that. We want to take you to a tragic story in Black Mountain. Our Brett Neese spent hours today going by foot, by ATV, going back into communities where homes were literally washed away by mudslides and floodwaters, sometimes tragically with families inside. The only way he was able to send this report back so we can watch it tonight is by going and finding a church, the one lone place in that area that even has a Wi-Fi signal for the people in that community to get a sense of what is going on. Here's Brett's report from Black Mountain.
After this morning's live reports in Asheville, we've heard about the devastation in other communities throughout Western North Carolina, including right here in the Garin Creek community near Black Mountain. It's a community that you really can't get to except by ATV or foot. Fortunately, we were put in touch with the Garin Creek fire chief. He was able to give us a ride up to this point. This is a church here that has really become the center point for this community. It's where people can come to reconnect, to get hot food, fresh food, there's water. There's even a Starlink satellite connection that they're able to communicate with loved ones, let them know that they are okay. They're trying to stay organized as much as they can because the need really is so great. They're is so much devastation through this community. We've learned a lot of it through UNC's former women's basketball coach, Sylvia Hatchell. She shared with us some of these photos of her home. If you know anything about her story, she has a patch of blueberries that you can come pick, and it's all to raise money for cancer research at UNC. Her home was spared in this mudslide, really is what it was, and she's so grateful that her home is spared, but she is really feeling for her community right now.
I don't think people realize how bad the situation is. I don't think we know yet, and they're looking. I mean, so many people are still missing.
There are really no words to describe some of the damage, the devastation that this community is feeling, but we're going to do our best and look for those stories throughout tomorrow morning on WRAL in the morning and throughout the day as well. In Garen Creek, Brent News, WRAL News.
I think it's worth really underscoring something that Brett was showcasing there, which is how cut off people seem. I met a man today who came into Asheville. He came out of his home looking for water because he said he's there with his dog. He was down to 3 bottles of water. And I met him when another family was giving him an entire case of water, and we struck up a conversation. He said he felt so relieved, and then he asked me, he said, "How bad is it?" And I was a little dumbfounded. I couldn't believe that he didn't understand the scope of everything. We sat there talking, and I told him everything that we knew. And it's because many people here don't have a way to reach out and see what is going on in the surrounding community outside of their front door is really all that they know. It's something that is so important that we continue to share the stories for them so that people know how much help is needed here. We have a bit of information for folks within the App State community. We're getting an update from them. App State is closed through Friday at least. We also know the dining halls and dorms are open. So for anybody in the Triangle area who has a kid who goes to App State, there's a bit of an update. There was also free Wi-Fi and food for the community, not just App State, for the community who needs it. That's at the Central Dining Hall in Boone. So again, if you have folks here who are looking for that type of resource, you can give them a call, find some way to communicate with them. Please let them know about that. And if you need to read that information again, of course, we have it online at WRAL.com. Join us again back here at 5:30. We're going to talk to Chris Michaels, who is in Ashe County, giving us a first look at some of the damage and devastation there. Guys.
Boy, Dan, you talk a lot. We've talked a lot about the communication and the lack of it in that area. But boy, the story you just shared really puts a highlight to that. So thank you for sharing that. We'll talk to you again at 5:30. FEMA provided an update to its response to Helene's impact today. So far, 3,500 federal personnel have been dispatched, including 1,000 from FEMA across 4 states. Of those responding, 1,250 are urban search and rescue personnel. FEMA's administrator, Deanne Criswell, is in North Carolina and will stay here until the situation is stabilized. Another C-17 cargo plane full of food, water, and emergency supplies arrived in Asheville today. In addition, 25 trailer loads of meals and 60 trailer loads of water were delivered to North Carolina. In total, FEMA has shipped more than 1.9 million meals and 1 million liters of water to impacted areas.
This device can help bring Western North Carolina back online. It's a Starlink receiver, and more of them are headed to the state to get internet service to those who need it. Our Capitol Bureau Chief Laura Leslie joins us live from the legislative building, where one lawmaker's plea for more of these reached billionaire Elon Musk. Laura?
It sounds crazy, Gerald, but it's true. You know, Robeson County State Senator Danny Brett is certainly no stranger to natural disasters. His district has seen more than its fair share. Still, he says what happened in Western North Carolina was beyond anything he's ever seen, and he was looking for a way to help.
State Senator Danny Britt said the images of Helene's destruction left him feeling helpless.
I did go to college in Boone at Appalachian State. We do have property in Boone. So I've got a very close tie and a close love for Western North Carolina.
Britt was talking to a National Guard colleague about the communication problems emergency responders were facing out west.
He did say they had some Starlinks and expressed that if they had additional Starlinks, then that would make a huge difference.
So Britt started looking for ways to contact Elon Musk, and his connections led him to former President Donald Trump's assistant, who said they could help. Along with State Emergency Director William Ray, they used a group chat to send the assistant a formal state request for help.
He communicated back right then that the president had made the phone call to Elon Musk, left a message, and that he was going to work on trying to see what Elon would be willing to do to provide additional Starlink satellite terminals.
Shortly after that, Elon Musk posted, "Trump alerted me to additional people who need Starlink internet in North Carolina. We are sending them terminals right away." Britt says they'll primarily be used by first responders.
But also communication from people to their families to let them know they're okay. Communication from people who may still be in danger or may still be stranded.
State lawmakers will be returning here next week for a previously scheduled short session. They could take up a disaster relief package that could help to get other communications networks repaired more quickly. Laura Leslie, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
That will be a big topic of conversation. State elections officials are also wrestling with the damage caused by Helene. The November election is just 35 days away. State Elections Director Karen Brenton-Bell said she has no reports of damage to voting machines or paper ballots. However, some voting locations may have been damaged or may now be inaccessible. Elections offices in 12 counties are still working to reopen after the storm. Bell said they're going to do their best to begin in-person early voting on time, but some changes may be necessary.
As county offices get back up and running, they will begin to assess early voting sites and election day polling places to see the extent of the damage and which facilities won't be available. Once we know this information, we can better determine a path forward on how to provide in-person voting.
Bell also said some absentee ballots already sent out may have been damaged or lost in the storm. However, she said absentee ballots are all identified and tracked with a barcode. She said elections officials will be able to avoid those ballots and issue new ones. Many of us see the images of what's happening in the mountains and want to help. If you're wondering where to start, scan the QR code that we have for you that hopefully we're going to show you on the screen here. Tomorrow, WRAL is bringing you an immediate and vetted way to offer support. From 12 p.m. until 7:30 p.m., phone lines will be open for you to call and donate. 5 on your side, alongside volunteers who will be manning the phones to take donations all day long.
I'm with meteorologist Mike Mays in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. Mike, you're tracking some evening showers and another system.
Yeah, and the evening showers won't have the punch they had last night. Remember, had those tornado warnings? These are all little itty-bitty showers that are rotating in from the north. We zoom in. We see Nash County, Edgecombe County, Warren County, Franklin County. At a time, some of this moves through eastern Wake County. This will probably last till about 8 or 9 o'clock. The upper level low that is helping to develop this is what's part of Helene, and this is rotating out of the area. We have a cold front that's coming on in, so we'll have some drier weather over the coming days. Also keeping our eyes on the Gulf of Mexico, there is good news. Now there's really no chance that this could develop over the next 2 days and only a 40% chance over the next 7. Not likely to develop, so that's certainly good news. What is good news? We see a potential temperature change in our future. I'll outline that coming up.
All right, Mike, thank you.
One NC State football family is helping people in need in western North Carolina.
Apparently, Wolfpack Nation runs way deeper than I expected.
Greater than anything they could have expected.
Welcome back. This is Brian Schrader in the WRAL Live Center. I want to get you up to date with what happened today in Israel. Iran fired about 200 ballistic missiles into Israel today. Take a look at some of the video of what it looked like from the ground. This was in response to Israel's killing of Hezbollah's leader and others. The U.S. State Department says that Iran must face consequences for the missile attack, saying that Israel has a right to defend itself. And the U.S. also says it is coordinating with Israel on a response to the attack. I want to show you another picture. This is from Tel Aviv while this was happening. People taking shelter under a bridge. This afternoon, President Joe Biden says the United States fully supports Israel. Also in the past half hour, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that Iran, in his words, made a big mistake and will pay. Now, before that missile attack happened, 6 people were killed in Tel Aviv when gunmen opened fire and also conducted a knife attack at a transit station. A Palestinian Islamist jihad group has taken responsibility for that.
Thank you, Brian. High school athletes will be allowed to profit from their name, image, and likeness after a ruling by a Wake County judge. The ruling reverses a decision by the State Board of Education to prohibit high school athletes from profiting from NIL. This ruling came as part of a lawsuit brought on by five-star Grimsley High School quarterback Payson Brandon, who was the top quarterback in the 2026 high school class. The ruling takes effect at the start of the 25-26 school year.
The man accused of killing an 11-year-old girl in a Raleigh Christmas parade is settling a civil lawsuit with the family. Haley Brooks died in 2022 when a pickup lost control during the downtown parade. WRAL Sean Gallagher joins us now live. And Sean, what does this mean for the family moving forward?
Yeah, so Deb, the family's attorney says they can't discuss any of the details of the settlement. But I'm standing near where Haley Brooks was killed almost 2 years ago during that parade, and the family is hoping this mural on the sidewalk isn't the only lasting memory of her life. They're hoping this settlement will spark change. The family's attorney sent us a statement saying in part that they hope this will discourage shortcuts that might endanger other children and to create a safer environment for family events like the Raleigh Christmas Parade. You may remember 11-year-old Haley was performing in the parade with a dance group when the out-of-control pickup truck hit her. The DA's office tells me the driver, Landon Glass, still faces pending criminal charges related to her death. But the lawsuit made claims of Glass's gross negligence and recklessness for what happened. Though we won't know the details of the settlement, the family initially was looking for $25,000 or more for each of the 9 total claims of wrongful death, negligence, and gross negligence. I received the following statement from the dance company Haley was involved with. They send their deepest sympathies and say, "We're grateful to have resolved the legal matters surrounding this tragic situation." So the family has reached agreements with Glass, CC and Company Dance Complex, and D&L Floats, leaving the Greater Raleigh Merchants Association as the only remaining party left. I talked with their attorney. They say because they're in the middle of discovery, they can't make any comment at this time. Sean Gallagher, WRAL News in downtown Raleigh.
For the second day this week, NC State defensive lineman Davin Vann and his family are collecting supplies for those in western North Carolina affected by Helene.
Vann's parents run a moving company, and he said this idea started with a Sunday night conversation with his mom.
We talk a lot about doing charity and stuff like that, and we kind of a lot of times put it off, but we decided that this was one thing that we really wanted to take action on, just because people were struggling so bad. And she texted Coach Doran that next day, and he was on board immediately.
That's great. They'll be collecting supplies at NC State's Close King indoor practice facility until 8 p.m. today and from noon until 8 p.m. tomorrow.
Let's go to meteorologist Mike Mays in WRAL Severe Weather Center again to talk about weather today and the next few days. Mike.
Yeah, we have a few showers out there right now, Gerald, but over the coming days, it looks like we are going to get a great opportunity to dry out, not only here, but in western North Carolina as well. I don't see any organized systems coming along that will bring any significant rain. We are still seeing some light showers for some of our northeastern counties rotating in from the north. We have that upper level low that is partially Helene. This upper level low was here, and then Helene's moisture got absorbed into it, and so we're still seeing a bit of that now, but tomorrow it should be out of the neighborhood. A cold front's on the way, but it really isn't going to bring cooler, drier air. But there's another one we're watching that could. So if you're watching from Nash County, Edgecombe County, Halifax County, where yesterday we were pointing out tornado warnings, we're just looking at a few light, gentle showers. And hour by hour as we head through the evening, 20 to 30% chance of rain. I think once we get past 9 o'clock, it'll be partly to mostly cloudy by daybreak. And once again, we'll likely wake up to clouds and perhaps some fog. It'll be a gray start, but later in the afternoon, we should see some sunshine. North Hills camera, you can see the low clouds looking rather ominous there. 74 at RDU, 78 was the high today. Not all that warm, 66 the dew point. It'd be nice to get some refreshing air in here. Probably won't see that until we get into next week. I'll show you what's going to do it for us. 68 at Roxborough right now, a little cool there. 76 Southern Pines, 77 in Fayetteville. So there is what's left of Helene and our upper level energy that's scooting out. Here comes the front. Not going to do much for us, but there's something well up here off the coast of Canada that'll dive drive down to the south and east, and that's the next best promise. And now that we're in October, it's more likely when fronts do come along, they finally bring the cool air. And I think this one will do it for us. There's where it's located by Thursday at 6 o'clock. And for us, as the week goes on, it'll still be on the warm side. We expect 80s for highs. By the time we get to Saturday, there's the front we'll be watching. We'll watch it through the weekend. It will have cooler air. It will open the door to bring some cooler air into the region by Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe even Thursday of next week. The first taste of fall may be on the way. Looking at models today, both the American model and the European model point out that Monday and Tuesday, at least, because it's in our 7-day forecast, we'll have some cooler and less humid air. There's the front Saturday evening at 7:30, still moving to the south and east. Sunday morning at 7. So we see that front continuing to approach. It should pass through Sunday night and Monday morning. And once it clears the area, that cooler, less humid air will come in. And you'll see in the 7-day forecast the impact that front will have. So our forecast by Tuesday, the dew points really fall. There's a taste of the dry air. Our dew points will be in the 50s at that point. So it should feel pretty good. 7-day forecast, 80s for the next several days. Tiny chances of rain for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, but by Monday and Tuesday, 80 the high on Monday, the morning low Tuesday 56, the high Tuesday 76 with full sunshine. Dew points at that point could be in the 40s. And there's one model that shows upper 40s for lows by next Wednesday.
And let's hope it just stays dry. Thank you, Mike.
Coming up, severe and devastating weather events like Helene leave their mark long after the storms have passed.
We're definitely going to need therapy from this. Our brains, we physically feel it, how traumatic it was.
After the break, one North Carolina couple walks us through their escape and how they're doing now.
A North Carolina couple escaped unharmed from flooding in Bat Cave, North Carolina. That's just outside Asheville. This happened Friday morning. They and their 2 cats were rescued by helicopter and airlifted to safety.
As they left, they said their town was unrecognizable. And while they're physically unharmed, the emotional and psychological trauma is severe.
Leaving, it was just unrecognizable. When we were going around just looking to see if anybody was okay, I drive those roads all the time and I just couldn't even picture where we were anymore.
We're definitely going to need therapy from this. Our brains, we physically feel it, how traumatic it was. And I feel, fuzzy. It's hard to think of words to say and put thoughts together. And it was traumatic. And I think we're going to be affected by this for a long time, if not the rest of our lives.
Yeah, you can tell they're still in shock. The couple is now safe in Boiling Springs, North Carolina. WRAL has resources posted online right now at WRAL.com with ways you can help these communities.
Ashley Rowe is here with what's coming up in our next half hour. Ashley?
Guys, tonight we are making it into some of Western North Carolina's communities for the first time. That's why meteorologist Chris Michaels is taking us on a 4-wheeler tour in Ashe County to places that can't be reached by road. Plus,
this may look like a bunch of dirt, but it's actually the future of fire and rescue training here in Cumberland County.
It just became quite clear to us that we needed to do more.
We'll take you to the groundbreaking that's making it happen.